Okay, Conjoy. This is right at the time of night when I get ready to have a Z attack. Remember in the old little cartoon captions, you used to see the little Z. Z. Maybe you call it, fall asleep, but they were called Z attacks when I was a little kid. My initial was is that I love bees because bees are pollinators. Remember the birds and the bees. And so I the way that I measured things is, see, I'm not living in Thailand. So, for example, it depends on where you happen to live in the history has a lot to do with it. Normally, bees come out in the springtime, right? Because you know what the job of a pollinator is, right? Just like butterflies, hummingbirds, right? Yeah, I love hummingbirds. Wow. And, but you're saying that this is at like 4 or 5 in the morning. Okay, so that would be odd, obviously not normal, particularly if it's up around your windows. Okay, because what is the function of a bee? It's a pollinator, right? But there are different kinds of bees that are in different areas on the planet that you can map read and see what it is that they do. What is their function? Right, so we know what honeybees do, right? So my first impression would be, if that happened and I noticed it, I flag it. That's unusual. Why? Because when was the last time you ever experienced something like that? So that's something new. You flag it. That's new. That means it's a change, and that means that change is remarkable. Because it's a different pattern of behavior. Okay? So what is causing the change in the behavior? Now, because of where you're at and where I'm at, I'm in Hawaii, right? So what would happen is there are people I've noticed over time that are sharing where they happen to be. Now remember, there is so much that is happening simultaneously between density and dimensions, because we're multidimensional. Right? So in other words, I can experience things in my visuals that others may not experience in their visuals, because the speed at which their atoms vibrate is either lower or higher, depending on what they're experiencing, by virtue of being connected to everything that their energy is connected to, that they're impacted by the relationship that we all have with consciousness. Right? Energy that is aware of itself. So it's producing input or output depending on the signal, which is the antenna. Antennas communicate. Cells communicate. Right? Consciousness communicates. Hey, what's going on over there, dude? Right? So the bees are communicating to you because they're in your visual. Okay, so what are they communicating? They want in? Is that what they want? Hey, you guys want in here? You want in my energy? What are you guys here for? Right? I mean, somebody comes knocking on your door wanting to gain entry, right? What's up? What are you guys doing? Aren't you supposed to be doing something else? Why are you wanting to come through the window, right? So that would be something different, right? So my first response is note it. You obviously it's in memory now. Notice the trend. Does this continue? Is it a regular pattern? Now it becomes self-similar, means it's repeating the same pattern of behavior. So you realize with the grid changes that are taking place as a result of all the work's been done to anchor shields into the planet shield, right? Open the gates. That allows people to go home, right? And people are now experiencing the higher frequencies that they can accrete in a hole in their DNA. So that means that the codes are firing, activating. And now you begin to realize people's state of awareness is going up. They're remembering who they are. They're experiencing more light, which means they're experiencing more love, which means they're healing. And that allows them to clear the I call it clearing the cobwebs, which is all the spells, which is really the tech, black magic tech. Consciousness that runs technology on other units of consciousness, which is antennas. Right? signals intelligence, communication, right? Radios, radio waves, radio, spirit in the radio, spirit in the wave. So my initial response is let's see what happens, right? And because obviously, this is what June, well, almost July. Now, where I'm from, where I've spent a lot of time up in the mountains and forests, say in California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, Arizona, Nevada, it's not unusual to see bees, even in June or July, even as late, as October. Particularly in areas where there are flowers. I'll give you an example. There's a tree in Southern Oregon that I just absolutely love, and it's great firewood. I prefer it better than oak. Oak, white oak, or black oak. Oak trees make great firewood because it's a hardwood, so it's dense. So that means that you get a good set of coals going in a campfire, right, by throwing a lot of small sticks and bigger sticks and then bigger sticks. I can show you how to build a really good campfire, okay? To one that'll burn all night when you're out in the middle of a jungle nowhere somewhere, right? With a lot of wild spirits. So there is a method, there is an art to building a campfire, right? Remember, that was my job, chasing the spirit of fire with water worlds. And so you want to put in smaller sticks, then bigger sticks, then a little bit bigger stick, then a little bit bigger stick, then big sticks. And then once you got the big sticks that are in there, right, now you can put real big sticks and they'll burn all night. Right, so what you want to do is build a hot bed, a furnace, so it's going to remain hot for a long time. So that's an art of knowing how to build a furnace. So it'll burn hot all night. Firefighters know how to do that. Fire spirit chasers know how to do that. Right. So in this particular case, I would simply observe and note that, right, and send them love energy. That's what I would be doing. Hey, how are you guys? How are you doing? Send them love energy. But we're noticing these changes around the planet because I've caught different videos from watching goats, going around in circles, right? Other things that we find, in what is it, flora and fauna, changes that nature is going through as a result of the changes that we're all experiencing, and how units of consciousness are reacting to those changes that can be mapped, right, as patterns.